Peace. Welcome to Spares and Mics. Um, Today we're going to talk about Cameron and Jim Jones situation. Are the diplomats over? What y'all brothers think about this situation?
I think it was
Diplomats
over a
finished
long
as a
time
crew. It's over with.
Yeah, they was over when Cam
Yeah,
started doing the UN or something. You know what I'm saying? When he kind of stopped fucking. Not the first time he stopped fucking with Jimmy. This
it was
just
over
this is
once Jim Jones got big.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Cam wasn't fucking with him then. They just never really
Mm,
said anything. You know what I mean? But now,
right.
you know what I mean? Because
Well, I think that they being that they had came out with the album 2 years ago. I think that made people think that they came back.
they had an
You know what
album
I'm
two
saying?
years ago.
It
Two,
was
3 years ago.
horrible. It was
Two,
horrible.
three
What you
years ago.
talking about?
It's a
Yeah.
reunion. It's called the reunion, I
So
think.
right.
It was
This is
horrible.
before.
I didn't
This
even
is
know it
before
dropped.
they battled. This is
Right.
before they
Word?
battled
Yo,
D Block, right? A
what's
little
the
bit before
name?
that.
That's when what's the name got the veneers put in, and it sounded like he had veneers in his mouth.
How the fuck can it sound like that? Like you heard? What do
Yeah,
you
no,
sound like?
Mm.
go listen to the
You
album. It
sound
was horrible. It
He
was
don't
horrible. Go
sound the
listen to the
same.
album.
Yeah,
Listen to
he
the
don't
album.
sound the
The album
same
was
on
horrible.
that
The
What?
album
album.
was
How do y'all
horrible.
know that? I've never heard that.
Yo, go
Yeah,
look
no,
it up. Go
no,
look it up. Go look it up.
because people were talking about it. People were saying it was trash.
Yeah, it
You know what I'm
was.
saying? Like that's what
Listen,
made me listen to it.
for,
You know what I'm saying?
for the record, I never liked Dipset. I liked Cameron.
Second that.
So
I
so
liked
not even
Cameron. I
not even
never.
diplomatic community.
What
I
doubt is
had
what?
the album. Listen, I had the album.
It's a good
Right?
Doubt it?
album.
Doubt it?
It is.
Doubt it?
It
Doubt
is.
it?
Yeah, I like
I don't like
Cam
that
though.
song.
I
I
like
like Cam
Cam
before.
though.
I like Cam before Rockefeller.
Yeah, I like Cam, bro. Like I was Cam and Mace. Like I thought Jewels. First time I heard Jewels was on what's the song on SDE? Double
Yeah,
Up.
word.
Double Up. I thought he was okay. I thought he was pretty good. And then like I didn't like the ad lib. I know he had his own style, but like the A, I wasn't really like
I like the dips.
they was okay, but I never like yo. You gotta understand when I when was they run from like '01
Like
to
'02 to
Dude, like
'06.
right? So I
so
wasn't even here. I wasn't even in New York. '02 to '03 I was overseas, right? And
they ain't got no album.
yes, they do, yo. Yeah,
They
they
do,
do.
P.
Yeah, they do. They do. They
Their
do.
run really started 2000 when SDE came out. You know what I'm saying? That's the birth of
Right, right, right,
Diplomats.
right, right, right,
September
right.
I
19,
like
2000,
dips. Purple City.
is when SDE
No, it
came
wasn't
out, and
Purple
that's when they
City.
were
No,
featured. That's what they were both featured on. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I think what 2001 is when Diplomatic Community came out. You know what I'm
right.
saying? If I recall correctly.
I
Um,
heard. I'm sorry. I heard a
no, go ahead.
story. I heard a story that during the Bad Boy tour back in '97, I think they said Cameron was on that tour with Mace and whatnot. And I think Jim Jones might have said it while that's when he first met Jimmy. And the story was that around the time they were like, I'm a no limit soldier. I thought I told you. So Jim Jones used to say, I'm a Harlem World diplomat. Where the bitches at? And they took that and ran with it.
Mm,
So about
that's,
98, around 98, I guess you could say was like the genesis of the diplomats, idea.
mhm,
There's no doubt that he's a very intricate piece and a founder of Dipset. That's not being disputed. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
just his move to be with 50 on stage. I don't care what you if that's your man,
That is true.
you don't hop on stage with
Hmm.
50. You don't do that. I don't
Yeah,
care
it's
what
crazy.
under no
Under no
circumstances. Right.
circumstances.
Right.
Yep.
It's like
Especially after he
that's
just played you and
I
said
looked
you.
at him different. I looked at him different because like 50 pulled the 48 laws of power on them. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Right.
definitely used them as well, he used Jim as a pawn. He didn't even use Cam. He used Jim as a pawn and Jim took it
Word.
because maybe, his he saw his stock rising because once he said we
Hmm.
like Jimmy better anyway, and he started. I never thought Jim was like, and this is another thing. Jim is almost 50, right? And I see all these comments like people like, yo, and he's a great beat picker. I will admit that he's a great beat picker.
Yeah.
The beats be dope. His
Hmm.
rhymes, his rhymes aren't for me. I'm not gonna say he's whack, but his rhymes aren't for me. But in the comments where people are like, "Yo, we don't say people are too old. We don't say Rolling Stones is too old." You know what I'm saying? When they be doing tours, first of all, Rolling Stones was never a trash group. Rolling Stones didn't get better at 50. You know what I'm
right?
saying? They just right. And then I never heard of somebody calling Rolling Stones whack and Rolling Stones like, yo, I don't like your music, Mick Jagger. I didn't hear about Mick Jagger punching them in the face or threatening them to get jumped by 50 gang members because you have a
But you ain't
difference
know.
in their music. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't know. That's
Yeah.
how the song "Start Me Up" came up. Start
Oh
me
yeah.
up.
Hmm.
Somebody saying
Yeah,
his shit
right.
was trash, so he snuck it.
Right.
Like, start me up. What up?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like he's 50. You like his music, that's fine. I really don't like it. And he'll never be better than Cam or the person that taught him how to rap, Mace. He'll never be. If they started doing music again, and I see people like, oh, you just mad because Jimmy music is hot. They're not even rapping no more. They got a podcast back. I don't think they care
They still rap.
whether yeah, they still rapping, but what I'm saying is like they don't care about rap
Yeah, they're
as
not
much
making.
as these fans propping Jimmy up to be this like phenomenal rapper. Like I think it's the
Hmm.
beats and it's more of a vibe than it is the rhymes because he's not really saying anything. It's a
They're
vibe.
not
Like
really
I'm not a
saying.
vibe guy. You know what I'm saying? We
hmm
all grew up like hip hop purists to a degree, so I don't like vibes. Everything's not a
Yeah.
vibe. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that's the reason why people like Jimmy more than anything, and they just don't want to admit it because the beats are hot. I'm not even going to front. His beat selection, he probably still got the youngins around him. Obviously, you know.
His work with Heat Makers is very good. I'd say
Yeah.
that's his best work.
That's for hits. You know what I mean? He has still of his own. He done been in battles.
He's done
Name a
well. He's done well.
name a bar. Say a bar.
Mm, got me on that.
Yeah,
I'm not a big Jimmy fan.
I'm saying just look if
I got
if
one song of his that I like,
besides a hook,
and that's because I knew
not a
Tim
hook,
he's
Santana
not
wrote
a
it.
super lyricist, but he got some joint
not a hook.
stuff.
Nah, let me hear something though. What did he say? What did he say? Let me hear something.
I mean, you think Jim is kicking lyrical miracle stuff? You think?
I'm not looking for lyrical miracle. I'm just saying recite something that's memorable. What did he say?
I don't know. I can't think of no Jim shit off the head.
I just saw a snippet for the new
If
joint
I see
where
it,
the
if I
beat
see,
is
if I look it
fire.
up,
Not
No
even look
matter
it up. I can't even think of no memorable lines from any of the songs I like. Like,
remind them who you are, remind them you a star. I think somebody said that before.
yeah, no, that's not.
I
That's
think I think I might have said that in passing.
not.
You know what I'm saying? It's very elementary.
I think when it comes to Jim, people like his personality, his so-called swagger, his
His behavior
his
is
fashion, his
juvenile.
it is. He acts young, he's
And his
immature,
fashion
I would
is
say.
horrible.
Yeah, I don't think his fashion is nothing crazy. You know what I mean? It's typical New York, whatever. You know what I mean?
Nah,
I think everybody get flea in New York. Like
it's
everybody got a
Harlem
good
Bronx. No
fashion
disrespect.
sense.
It's
yeah,
he got a
right.
Bronx swag.
The dusty.
Somebody said that on a comment. It's crazy. I was telling Watt. They said like, yo, no matter how fresh Jimmy looked, he still looked like a bum. Like it's crazy.
People
yeah,
find
Like, and I ain't say that, no disrespect, but he do look a little weird sometimes.
Yo,
Like,
what's
I don't
crazy?
know if it's the facial hair. I
he
don't
has
know.
the
He just
facial
look
hair and his braids and his
Yo,
right.
remember I
his
told
It's
own.
you
dusty. Yeah, like,
remember I told you about the sneakerhead issue he had a couple years ago?
hmm
These Ray Allen Jordans, Jordan 11, I think they're the Jordan 11 PE. They're like some exclusive joints. It was only a certain amount made. They were going for a lot of money. And Jim Jones had posted them right before they came out or whatever. And this sneakerhead, well-known sneakerhead, I forgot his name, but he's well-known, white dude. He called Jimmy out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, those not official. He got mad and
Fugazi.
was threatening him over some sneakers, over like you know what I'm saying? Like,
his pride was hurt that he got called out for it.
yeah, like. And I think that's why people like him too, because he's very prideful and he's emotional. You know, we live in an era where, you know, not to say that he's not supposed to cry and all of that and get emotional because people have emotions, but he wears them and he's unapologetic about it. And I think
Mm.
that's what people like about him. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So he has
right.
everything winning for him. And no knock to him. Like if he gonna make his money, you know, no doubt. I'm
Yeah.
not listening. I'm
He's
not
a
checking for him.
he's a character. He's interesting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he's a character. Like I feel like he be cutting promos. Like he has like that WWE type shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like when the camera's rolling, he knows how to talk and gauge your interest. You know,
And I
and I
think
mean
he's
that's a part of stardom. People. If you're a
yeah.
star, you should be have the ability to do that. Um, but as a rapper, I don't think none of us were taking him serious. Everything on Diplomatic Immunity, which I would say, you know, is their best work as a collective, even though they had a couple like compilations with Duke the God,
hmm
you
And they
know,
had a
and
lot of mixtapes. They had a lot of
they had
crazy
a lot of
mixtapes.
mixtapes, right?
Yeah.
And you know, some of them were good. I bought the Duke the God series one, two. I bought J.R. Writer's first few albums, some of his mixtapes. You know, I followed the Diplomats as a crew, as a whole crew, because I love hip hop. I always thought J.R. Writer was the most talented out of all of them.
hmm
And I still listen to him to this day. I just saw that he got his master's. Peace to him on that for his
Uh,
first album. But I never really took Jimmy serious as a rapper. You know, I just thought he was a part of the crew. You know what I'm saying? At a time, I was like fooled to thinking that he was the muscle of the crew because of his gang ties or whatever. But I mean, we saw with the situation with True Life, we saw a lot of beefs that he got into. He wasn't victorious really in those situations. You know what I mean? Um, what do y'all think?
I think that blood shit is real. You know what I mean? He do
Yeah,
got
yeah, it is.
but
Oh, right, yeah, it's
Um,
valid. I mean, he's the Billy. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to dispute that. Like his
I
role.
a lot of his solo work is alright too. I think a lot of his
I
shit.
told you, my man,
Hmm.
one of my best friends, one of my closest friends, he's a fashion designer, well-known fashion designer. And before he became a fashion designer, you know, he was working retail in Manhattan while I was in the Navy. And when I used to come home on the weekends, he used to be like, yo, like he was in the club scene heavy. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be like, yo, come, got this spot. I know this spot. We get in, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I used to go because I used to come up for the weekends from the base and come up. And we used to run into Jimmy. While Dipset, this is in like 2000, 2001, 2002, before I went overseas. And he was in the clubs and he'd be in the clubs with like 15 bloods and he'd be acting super tough. I remember one time in particular, it had to be 2002 because the Nets were I think they had just lost. I think they had just lost to the who they
Lakers,
lost to, the Lakers or the Spurs? It was the Lakers,
Lakers.
right? Yeah, they lost to the Lakers in the finals, right? So my childhood barber was we just happened to see him, right? And him and Ja Rule and Irv Gotti. Remember I told you like Irv Gotti used to come in the barbershop when I was a kid or whatever. He used to get on my nerves. We used to play Madden and Joe Montana football on Sega Genesis together. He was always loud, whatever. But anyway, um, he got us in VIP. You know what I'm saying, that night. And Kenya Martin was in there stuttering because he has a speech impediment. It doesn't sound bad now because he probably had took speech classes or
Therapy,
whatever,
speech
right?
therapy.
Speech therapy, right? So he was in there stuttering to trying to bag this chick and she curved him. And it was kind of funny because she didn't know who he was and he had this chain on. He was like, you don't know who I am. I'm play for the New Jersey Nets. My name Kenya Martin, whatever, whatever. And she kind of curved him or whatever. And I laughed. But Jim Jones was in VIP face fighting with people because he knew he had 15 dudes with him. And and at that time, like, you know, I wasn't a club dude. Never. I never was a club dude. I'd go, but that wasn't really my vibe because if I'm there to like pick up a chick or have a good time, like, why I gotta worry about a dude jacking me, like trying to rob me or like, I'm not face fighting with no men. You know what I'm saying? It'd be too sweaty. I don't like, you know, all that the atmosphere just wasn't me. But I just used to be in there. Like I ran into him a handful of times in the city, in these clubs. Same, and Huddy Combs used to be in there too, and he always used to be with Jeff
R.I.P.
two
Huddy.
times. Right. He used to be in there with Jeff two times from Made Men, and Jeff two times used to have the big two times chain on. You know what I'm saying? He used to say Jeff two times. That's why I used to think Huddy was down with Made Men because he always used to be with Jeff two times. And Jim just used to be in there face fighting with everybody. I mean, I never been in there when things got crazy, but he definitely you was turning the temperature up in these spots. And like that kind of like made me not like him too. You know what I'm saying? He never did nothing to me. He never like, looked at me any kind of way or anything like that. But like just for you being like that for nothing for no
It's
reason. I
it's
for
crazy
no
you
reason.
mentioned
It's
that
it's
because
corny. It's corny to me. You a cornball for that. You
it's
just
funny you
corny.
mentioned that because there's also that rumor that he's been banned from fighting in clubs too, right around the time that he was about to like before Dipset really blew up.
Oh, this is in 01,
Yeah,
02 when they
that's what I
were
said.
like
It's
already popping.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
when I read that article, I must have read that article like in '05. So you saying that, I was like, yeah, that
Mm.
corroborates every story
I,
that's been said about him.
I remember standing on a line one night and with my man, we standing on the line and he just skipped everybody, and he's popular, so ain't nothing. But he's like, yo, I ain't coming in. And I guess they were expecting him to come to the spot. I forgot what club it was. And he was like, yo, I'm not coming in unless you let all my dime moves in and da 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 da. And it's a whole like you turn around and it's like a mob of them. You know what I'm saying? And they going straight to VIP to face fight. Like you're not in there for the chicks. You're not in there
Right.
for to
I used
enjoy
to hate
yourself.
that shit.
You just in there to face fight and sweat.
What did they
Like that's
do?
just
They banned him
crazy.
from all the clubs, or they banned him from
Go,
starting rounds in the clubs?
he talking to you, Razor.
What happened?
What did they do? They banned him from all the clubs, or they banned him from fighting?
Yeah, they were saying that certain clubs that he got into fights in or started fights in, he would be banned from.
Oh yeah, that makes
Mm.
sense. That makes sense. I was thinking, like, how they gonna ban him from fighting? Like, what do you got in? Don't fight.
I think the whole Dipset thing. I think it's unfortunate, but like I said, people get together and they break up.
Yeah,
People get married and
Mm.
get divorced. It is what it is, man.
People grow
Like, and
apart.
everybody's right except for like Cam and Jemai. You know what I mean? Freaky Zeke look alright. G Wells not so much. You know what I mean? Who else? What is it? J.R. Wright is alright. He works with 38 Spanish. You just said he got his masters back for his album. But you
I
know,
saw Uncasa saying he don't like it. Uncasa's cool. I met him a few times too. Do my man. I've been around Jewels a couple times.
what was he saying?
Um,
You know, like
yeah, he said he doesn't like it because it's just not like, and I understand him because he's saying Dipset is just not three people. He was like, we all contributed. Remember, Uncasa,
The
you had
movement.
the fire
no,
intro on Diplomatic Immunity.
I know.
Like
Wow.
he went crazy. And Uncasa's
Wow.
nice. He might
He
not have
is.
the appeal, but he's nice.
He
You
is.
know what I'm
He is
saying? He
nice.
can
Yeah,
he
he
can
is
rhyme.
nice.
He can rhyme.
He carry
Um,
Purple City. He carry Purple
yeah,
City.
yeah. He can rhyme. 40 Cal was nice. Hell Rell was nice. I mean, like I said, all of them, they're not my cup of tea. I might listen to a freestyle here and there. Not to say they
Yeah,
don't have bars, but like their subject matter and they stuff is really not for me. I can't listen to a whole album of it. You know what I'm saying?
Same
Like
here.
I could listen to a song here and there, but I can't listen to a whole album of it.
That's that's what gets me I don't want to say upset because to me, we've seen this in hip hop numerous times, groups breaking up, EPMD, Hit Squad becoming Def Squad, you know what I mean? Like various groups and acts have gone and drifted apart, crews separated, Wu-Tang has had their issues, Rockness left boot camp at one time,
Right.
and usually they find a way to bring it together, and that'll probably be the same thing for the Dips. If I'm sure if there's a financial incentive for them to return as a collective, they will
Money
be
sh-
back.
money shouldn't be
I
because then it's
agree.
not genuine. It's not
I
genuine. But
agree.
this another thing I didn't mention. Well, I failed to mention. He jumped on stage with 50, right? Boom. Okay, that was years ago.
Foul.
That was years ago. Then they've been having their little spats, whatever, whatever, probably behind the scenes. Then Cam comes out with the where he has the Pepsi sitting at the table. He calls Mendices. Mendices releases the. He talk about the story where they had an issue, and Mendices allegedly put hands on him. Then this Justin LeBoy interview comes out a month ago, and he's playing Frank Stand games with Cam and 50. Now, if Cam is your heart, I mean, and this is the thing. I understand the youngsters played the Frank Stand game like as a game. There's not be serious, but you're almost 50. You don't invite no man to your
Hmm.
private and then think we could be cool without having a conversation and without you clarifying. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't play that kind of game and then expect for people. And I don't even understand how people are on his side when he said that. I mean, do what you want.
Right.
I'm not trying to sway anybody's um opinion on the matter, but like you can't say even though he didn't say SMD, he said they've been on my get off my,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
kind of like the same thing in a sense,
Hmm.
and he knows better.
And
He knows better.
that's what led Cam to follow up
Right. With the
and
you a fan.
and you a fan
Right.
and you're not even
Right.
from Harlem,
Right. Right. But he said he
so
wasn't he
for
said he was from the Bronx 10 years ago too though. He said that 10 years ago when he did the
right, 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 right,
thing.
right.
He said you
That's well known. It's well
right.
known, like, but for some reason, like he just continues to say he's Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand it because I told this to Watt, right? Like I lived in Brooklyn for the first 13 years of my life. And when I moved to Long Island, no matter how many friends I had, no matter how cool I was with dudes in the hood, I was never really from Long Island. They always saw me as an outsider. So I'm just wondering, like, and 9 out of 10 times when somebody say, "Yo, where you from?" I tell them Long Island because I lived in Long Island longer than I lived in Brooklyn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not from Long Island. I'm from Brooklyn. Like he's from the Bronx. How is he jacking Harlem? Like if you go to your nana's house every other weekend or every weekend doesn't mean you're from that city
Right.
or you from that town. So I don't understand it and how they let him do that for so long and now they call him out on it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird to call him out on it now. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
maybe when he left to go back to the Bronx, maybe they was like, "Yo, man, imagine him. Imagine Jimmy think he from Harlem. Oh well, it ain't. They probably joked about it. They might have joked to him about it. Like, who
Right,
knows?
right,
I say both, yo. I say I'm from Jamaica, Queens, and I say from Long Island. You know what I'm saying? I got more times in Queens, but I'm still from Long Island. But I have more years living in Queens than I do Long Island. But
right.
you know what I mean? For sure,
I've
Queens.
been out in the Philadelphia area, but I'm from Queens.
Right, right, right. I mean, if you talk to me, but in short, I'll just say Jamaica, Queens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm from parts unknown.
There you
Um, I think, like what I was trying to allude to earlier was I just think like it hurts. Nobody's getting the diplomat bag no more. But to me, like I think like people that were affiliated with Wu Tang, people that were affiliated with boot camp could still go and drop something, and based off that, they could still get a bag. Like the representatives could come out, and people will listen to Little Rock and Supreme and remember that they was with boot camp, even though
Mhm.
they may not necessarily be tied to boot camp now. So
Mm-hmm.
like now that they say the diplomats is over, people crying about it or celebrating it if they're haters. I think it's whack, man. Like I don't like to see groups break up. I don't like to see friends become enemies. Um, and I hope that they find a way to move past their issues. That's not me being corny. It's being me being genuine. That's what I really feel.
go. I
I
You
agree.
know
think
what I
it
mean?
shouldn't have been made public.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's what I think. I think it
It's
shouldn't have
all
Right.
been
part
made
of Flat
public. If
50
your
movie. You
friends,
know?
if somebody comes to me about you, any one of y'all, in like a public platform, and there seems to be some rift, I'm gonna deflect as much as possible because my friendship is on the line, and I don't know you. I don't know the interviewer. I'm not giving you that. You know what I'm saying? So you could have that over me, and you could try, and then people could take bits and pieces and make sound bites and all of that. I'm not doing that. And I you would think that not just Cam and Jim, you would think that people are old enough to understand that. Like even if I was Cam, I wouldn't have asked 50 nothing
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
that could trigger
I mean, he said
some.
it
I mean,
clearly.
Clearly
knowing
triggered
that
it.
Jim is emotional, knowing that
Right,
Jim is emotional. Even though I don't think Cam said anything wrong, you
right.
know what I'm saying? I don't think he said anything wrong, but just asking the question probably triggered Jimmy. And knowing that 50 and Jim had back and forths on social media for the past couple of years, and sometimes it was a joke, and then sometimes it was like a little cross the line. I wouldn't even have asked 50 that. So
50's
that
very
plays a part.
strategic too.
Yeah, he is.
50's very strategic in anything that he says or does.
But he was
He's
asked
well
the
aware
question
of.
though. He was
Right,
asked
he
the
was asked
question
the
though. So
question, but he could put a situation out in front of you and word it so that it triggers like an ill effect amongst them brothers. Like, because 50 really is like, I mean, the dude got a book with Robert Greene, who authored 48 Laws of Power. Like, he's well versed in like manipulation. Like, I'm telling you. And not to say that 50 had like bad intentions
Yeah, I
on it or
don't.
whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be feeling like the whole you see how Jimmy like 50 brought Jimmy out there and it was like so well
Yeah,
planned.
that was on
50 knew exactly what it was going to do
right.
to them. You know what I'm saying? It was like a checkmate. You know what I'm saying?
But I think Cam just thought it was past because Jimmy was like how he said, Jimmy's known to make up with people that he beef with. He thought it was all good to mention. I don't think Cam would have like did. I don't think Cam did that.
all right, it wasn't malicious
Yeah,
intent.
yeah, at all.
I don't think it was malicious intent. But yo,
It is
If
what it is.
anything, in reality, if anybody should be mad about it, it should have been Cam, because you supposed to be my right man.
Right.
Yo, the young Zulus will probably be mad if I don't say free to wave. So I'm gonna just say free to wave. I don't know. They've been saying this man coming home for the last 2, 3 years. Anybody got an update on him?
I'm ready for Wavy Crockett, Max B. I like
I
Max.
don't pay attention to him anymore.
I
I
like
listened
Max.
to the last album he came out with from jail. I liked one song. Um, I don't really I
I
heard
just
something with him and Cam over the phone allegedly. I don't know if that was a real jail call talking about we got to do a Harlem album when I come home or something. I heard
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
think that
mm,
would be dope. I think that would be pretty dope.
yeah. That way, that way.
yeah,
Um,
that would be dope.
Yeah.
So if there's a Harlem album, who would that be? Like
McGraw,
him,
Miz,
Cam?
they should just do people from their side. They from
Miz,
the same building.
Well,
Niplo. You know what I mean?
it should be anybody that was diplomats that's from Harlem too, like J.R. Ryder, so on and so forth. That would be dope.
Yeah, Jim Jones. You got
P, what's that artist that J.R. Ryder got? I don't know if he Puerto Rican or Dominican also. Fred Money. I think he alright too. You
or
ever seen him?
no, I
Yeah,
never.
cause you know uh J.R. Ryder got his own movement called Thunder.
Oh, all
You
right.
know what I'm saying? He got a bunch of artists, yeah.
I said, all
You
right.
know what I mean? But I
I
would
want
like
to
to
hear
see
her
all of them
McGraw.
dudes. Word. Where's he at?
He's some.
One of my favorites from Harlem.
I
You heard
like
McGruff?
McGraw.
McGruff used to always have fire on mixtapes, yo.
Hmm.
Always,
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
And a dope name too.
Mhm.
Crazy. Oh man, but peace to the diplomats, man. I hope they get it together, man. But
Word.
you know, it'd be sad to see them part ways,
Yeah,
even further than what it is now.
yeah. It's over. I don't think they're really gonna work
Me
together.
neither. I don't think.
Yo,
Yeah.
everybody that's viewing, let us know your comments. Should the diplomats try to fix it? Should they just leave it as it is? Have they all grown apart? Do you even want to see Cam rap? Should he just stay on his YouTube bag talking about sports? You know what I mean? Like, give your thoughts, give your comments, hit that like, hit that subscribe, keep it tuned in to Spears and Mics. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace, peace.